Hi guys, welcome to DevOps World. This is Harish Reddy. I'm the DevOps certified trainer. So previously we discussed about route map of the DevOps. Right now we are trying to discuss about what is DevOps actually, what are the functionalities of the DevOps, and how we can work on the DevOps. What is the day-to-day scenarios in DevOps life cycle? We'll try to discuss all these in this class. Okay, so let us start the class, guys. So in this, we are trying to go with overview of the DevOps. So we'll try to discuss about the definition of DevOps. We are trying to discuss about the benefits of the DevOps, and we are trying to discuss about the advantages and skills in market. How can you perform in skills in market in DevOps? Aims of DevOps. We are trying to go with the pipeline projects, and we are trying to discuss about use case tools, and we are trying to discuss about the future enhancement of DevOps. Okay, let us discuss one by one what is these things in this class. Okay, those who are freshers, those who are experienced, those who are switching from one technology to another technology. So this is the one of the best right platform to work under the automations. So here you need to notice one thing, guys. So whenever you're trying to switch any technology as to automation technology, definitely you need to learn from the basic. That's very, very important. So that's why I'm trying to give a good cooperative as per my technologies to work under the progress. Okay, let us will discuss what is DevOps actually. So what is DevOps? DevOps will becomes a picture of development plus operations. Development plus operations. So we are working with process or methodology or collaboration. Okay, what is this actually? So we are working with process, methodology, and collaboration. What is this actually? Okay, and one more thing, we need to go with definition of DevOps actually. We are going with definition. In this definition, DevOps it's not a tool, it's not a software, it's a culture. Culture. What is the culture actually? Okay, so culture is nothing but we are trying to work on the process or methodology or collaboration. Okay. Let us take one example. Suppose who will give the requirements? Definitely the client will give requirements for this. Requirements. So like you can take any commercial applications, commercial application like Flipkart or Amazon. Amazon. Okay. Flipkart or Amazon. Okay. So the client is ready to give the requirement to one software company. I can call this as an X company. X company. So in this X company, the company want to maintain the manpower, manpower. So whenever we want to give the requirement, okay, that should be around some 100 members or 1,000 members, depends upon the company norms. Okay. So how can you get a jobs in DevOps actually? If the client is giving requirement to you, we need to go with filtration of jobs notifications. Okay. So for this, we are we once the client is giving the requirement to you, we are working on software development life cycle. Development life cycle. I can call this one as SDLC. Okay. In software development life cycle, we are trying to go with requirements and we are trying to go with analysis and we are trying to go with implementation and we are trying to go with testing, and we are trying to go with deployment, and we are trying to go with production. Trying to go with production. So if the client is giving one commercial application to you, the Flipkart application, so definitely we need to collect the requirements from the client, that is documentation, and we need to collect the software environment, and we are trying to collect the, we need to ask from the what security we need to provide from the client, because that is security. Depends upon, this is optional, guys. Security is optional. We can do our own factor also. Okay, this is complete option in security wise. But coming to analysis team, so once you study the documentation, we are trying to create one framework or design process. Design process. Okay, so once you done the design process, you're trying to go with the implementation. So the analysis team will try to explain to implementation team, you should go according to the modular evaluation. So implementation team will work under the development side, and it will be integrated with developing team. Developing team. Okay, so we need to give the developing team to complete scenarios according to the design process. Okay, so now the developing team will try to create source code management. That is SCM. We are trying to work on the source code management. So once the completion of source code management, the develop implementation team and testing team will work under the parallelly. So what is the main purpose of testing team? The testing team will try to create testing scripts. Testing scripts. So they will try to go with either automation, automation, Selenium, or manual. Depends upon the testing side. Okay, so we are trying to work on the testing side. So developing side and testing side having some different types of understandings, and they'll try to communicate with the project, and they'll try to move with the project to deployment team. So in this deployment team, we are working on operations. Operations. So what kind of operations you are trying to do? You are working on DevOps operations, tools. Okay, so that should be, we'll try to discuss what is operation tools. Okay, so I'm trying to give overall idea about software development lifecycle. Then once the completion of DevOps operations, we are trying to go with the pre-prod, pre-production, pre-production. Okay, so this is what we are trying to go with the process of software development lifecycle. Okay, now whatever we are doing the work as per our software company, that X company, we are doing the process. But client is not happy with our projects. Client is not satisfied with our static work. He want to go with the modifications. Modifications until the customer will be give positive response. Positive response. Because he want to expand the business. He want to expand the business according to the customer representation. Okay, so for this we are trying to go with the model representation. Model representation. In this model representation, we previously we are using waterfall model, waterfall model, and in what is waterfall model actually? If the waterfall model will comes under the forward direction, not backward direction. Backward direction. So what is forward direction? What is backward direction? Okay. I'll tell you, I'll go with a example. So the client is getting the requirement record application. Okay. You are trying to collect all the requirements like documentation, software environment, securities. So once you collect all the requirements, definitely we are, analysis team will try to create one blueprint, that is framework. Then developing started the design process without verifying the client representation. Okay, the client want to verify your design. So with because we have very less time, so even the project comes like to 3 years on invest within the lifetime of the axis, we are trying to complete the project and we need to submit to client. So for this, the software team is trying to move forward to implementation team. Okay, in implementation team, and testing team, whatever they are trying to do the activities according to the design process, the client suddenly came to the middle of the meeting. He want to see the state of the project. Everyone is explaining the project very clearly, but client is want to do some changes. But as per the constraint norms, we are using waterfall model. So waterfall model never goes bottom to top of it, like 6 to 1. Okay, so to overcome this, we are using the next model is agile model. Agile model. So in agile model, whatever you're trying to approach, the client approach, whatever you want to do some changes without disturbing the previous models, we are trying to delete the model and we can try to add the model. That is called incremental and decremental progress. Progress. Okay, we are trying to go with incremental and decremental progress. Okay, so without disturbing the previous scenarios, whatever you done the milestone, we are not disturbing that. We are trying to modify the code. We can try to remove the code and we can add the code. So this is what we are trying to do the agile process methodology. Okay, so currently most probably all the companies are using 95% agile process only. Agile process only. So in this case, most probably all the companies was increasing the rapid applications to expand their business according to the client requirements. Even the companies they'll try to take the manpower with very huge. That's why DevOps having very huge demand in market. Okay, from 2019 to up to 2024, the software employment rapidly increased. Rapidly increased to work on the automation. Okay, so that's why cloud having such a huge demand in market. Cloud computing having such huge demand in market. Okay, so those who are freshers, so don't try to go with wasting the time of the technology. So those who are freshers, try to apply the internships. For freshers, please you can try internships. Internships. Those who are experienced, those who are experienced guys like mid level, those who want to switch the technology from one place to another place, the one technology to another technology. It is a right platform to start from the scratch. from the scratch. Okay, so those who want to go with already he's working DevOps engineer, try to learn new tools, new tools like DevOps tool, DevSecOps, DevSecOps. Okay, this is what I want to say for freshers, mid-level experience, and those who are working with the experience in DevOps. Okay, so this is a very huge demand in market in current industry, guys. Okay, and coming to part of his part of history in DevOps, history of DevOps. So in previous day, whatever the client is giving the requirement, client is giving the requirement. We are going with individual versions. We are going with individual version. Okay. So developers is trying to create developer role. Developers is trying to create. So I'm going with the architecture, guys. See, developers they're trying to working on client requirements. So the developers is trying to take under the individual manner, and the developers is trying to forward to testing team, testing team, testing team. So to the developers is trying to go with source code management to testing team to test the development code. So once the testers has been done the work, they'll try to go with the deployment team, that is virtualization. VMs. They're using VMs. They'll try to store the files in VMs. And finally, they're trying to go with the pre-production. That is team managers. Pre-production. Pre-prod. So this is comes a picture of traditional manner. Traditional IT. I can go with traditional IT. So they're using infrastructure. So even the client is not happy with this particular scenarios. Okay, so they're trying to go with everyone is individual. Everyone is individual on dependence on the teams. Okay, so this is comes a picture of traditional manner. Even the client is also not support with this particular part of the teams. To overcome this, we are working with the DevOps life cycle. That is the requirements, analysis, implementation, testing, and we are trying to go with the requirement, and we are trying to go with the production. Okay, so this is called a collaboration process. So that's why DevOps came to the existence. DevOps came to the existence in market. So if you want to deploy the applications, definitely we need to provide cloud. That's very important. That is, we are trying to go with requirements, analysis, implementation, and testing, and deployment, and we are working on production. So majorly the DevOps will try to integrate with the cloud because it is completely like secure process. Okay, so here you need to understand one thing very clearly. In DevOps, we need to learn. The first one is continuous integration. Next, second one is continuous development, and third one is continuous testing, and fourth we are trying to go with continuous deployment, and fifth we are trying to go with production, or maintenance. Okay, this is what we are trying to work on the DevOps life cycle. Okay, so now here we are trying to go with as per the software development life cycle. So here you're working with requirements and analysis, and we are working with implementation, implementation, and testing, deployment, and production. So whatever you're trying to see, 1 to 4, I can call this one as continuous, continuous deployment. Whatever you're trying to see the 5, that is continuous delivery. Continuous delivery. Okay, so this is comes a picture of CI/CD integration. Integration. So on the basis of DevOps operations. So that you need to learn first securities. That is, we are working on Linux administration. Second, we are trying to go with cloud computing. We are working with AWS or Azure or GCP. Okay, depends upon your cloud platforms. Okay, we'll try to explain all these things in next coming classes. Next, we are trying to go with third one, DevOps operations. So in DevOps operations, we are working on DevOps tools like CI/CD, CI/CD. So we are trying to go with CI/CD, and further we are trying to work on the projects. Okay, so that is pipeline projects. Okay, so this is what I can give the brief scenario about DevOps cycle. Now we are trying to go with. So this is what we are trying to explain from the PPT. So we are trying to go with development, quality, that is testing, and we are working with operations. So these are the phases of DevOps life cycle, which we are trying to go with delivering the software very easily under the automation side. It improves the productivity and with the low errors to development the process. And even if you take any decisions also, that should be completely automated and it will be very easy to work under the progress. That's why we are working on automation field. Okay. So this is the old method which I was told you in previous example, that is individual process. Now to extend that particular problem, we are working on collaboration. Okay. So this is definition of DevOps. So that DevOps, whatever you're trying to see the backend operations, we are trying to go with the build, test, and release. What the customer is expecting here is they'll try to go with monitoring on your application. They'll try to view the feedbacks according to the application. So it will be very easily identified backend developers, operation team to work on the upgrading technology. Next. Next, we are trying to go with benefits. What kind of benefits which we are trying to go with this particular application is to overall whatever you're trying to give the customer feedback, you are taking very quick decision to work on the collaboration process. And it is very easy to learn the new things according to the client requirements. So the delivery high quality services are very fast and more investments will come to your company and it will be very helpful to your future. Next, coming to advantages. So we are trying to go with advantages based upon the continuous delivery. We are trying to go with innovation and we are working on business agility and we are working on quality of the service. We are working on digital transformation. We are working on implement effectivity and we are working on the environments. So this is the overall structure which we are trying to go with DevOps. So the DevOps giving such a good quality issues as per the development plus operations. We are working with the methodologies. So those who want to learn the new skills in market, definitely you need to work on these factors. So you need to work on the containerization, that is storage. You need to work on the Docker and you need to work on the Kubernetes. Very, very important, guys. I'll tell you these classes in next coming sessions. This is very helpful to you to work on the progress. Okay. Next one is cloud platforms. In cloud platforms, you're working with AWS, Azure, and you're working with Google platforms. I can discuss all these AWS, Azure, and Google platforms in next coming classes. Next, coming to CSP integration, we are working with GitLabs and we are working with Jenkins and automation side to deliver the awesome application. Next, we are trying to go with the networking and infrastructure. Network and infrastructure is giving such a good protocol to work under the different types of applications based upon the virtual machine, based upon the automation side. So virtual machine will work under the configuration side, automation will work under the ready-made side, under the cloud computing. So for this, we are trying to use containerization tool, that is Docker side. Next, we are trying to go with monitoring. How can you monitor the service? So client will monitor entire the services as per your resources. They'll try to go with some monitoring tools like Grafana, Prometheus, and they'll go with the Beanstack. They'll try to go with the Nagios, Nexus. Like this, we have enhancement of the tools to work on the progress to improve your performance according to the infrastructure application. Next, coming to CI/CD pipeline. How can you work on the pipelines? If you want to work with the pipelines, definitely you need to go with understanding the creation, testing, and deployment of software applications. This is work under the software development life cycle. As per we are seeing the example of software development life cycle, we are trying to work on the continuous integration and continuous delivery to overall fit scenarios. Now, coming to tools of the DevOps. So, what are the tools which we are trying to utilize as per the basic? Are those who are trying to switch from one technology to another technology, try to learn all these tools, guys. This is very important to work on the progress in next coming DevOps operations. So, for this, we are trying to go with Jenkins, that is continuous integration process. If you're working on Docker, you're working on containerization. If you're working on Kubernetes, you're working on orchestration. If you're working on Terraform, you're working with infrastructure. If you're working on Ansible, you're working on configuration management. If you're working on Prometheus, you're working on monitoring tools. You're working on performance, visualization, and dashboard. This will be entire tools which we are trying to go with Scratch as per the DevOps engineering. I'm going with the best example. So this is the best example, guys, to work on the progress. So we'll discuss one by one as per the architecture of this example. I'll try to go with one by one as per the tool scenarios. In next coming future, we are working with DevSecOps with AI, guys. Even it will be extendable, guys. As per my classes, I'll try to go with AI also in next coming generation. Okay, so for this, it will be very useful to work on the demo and you'll get a very good career on this particular market. So for this, you need to learn some basic concepts that is DevOps and Azure or GCP depends upon your interest, area of interest. Okay, I'll try to discuss all these tools in next coming sessions. Okay, so this is how we can work on the driven and based upon the artificial intelligence, we are working with some scripting language based upon the Ruby code. So this is based on the base of machine learning. Next. So coming to if you're working on AI, what are the major factors you're working on AI? Definitely, we are trying to go with agile process management. We are working with collaborative. We are working with integration and continuous delivery. We are trying to go with monitoring. We are trying to go on microservices. We are working on securities, and we are working on the continuous feedback. Okay, so this is if you go with in future concept, definitely you can work all these things under the DevSecOps benefits. Next, coming to benefits of the DevOps. To reduce the cost, guys. First major factor is to reduce the cost. Rather than going with a manual process, I can go with the automation process. Next, to reduce the time in market, reduce the time risk factors, reduce the so we need to improve the communication based upon the company wise, and we can go with the according to the pipeline process. This is one of the major advantages which we are trying to go with the DevOps. In future, it will be like this. So definitely we are trying to integrate with the AI. This pipeline will be like this. I can go with the example, guys. This is not really a scenario. This is an example which I was showing in next coming generation. It will be like this. Okay. So we'll try to do one by one what is these things in next coming sessions. If you have any queries, please comment in my YouTube channel. So try to go with it. And coming to the part, if you have any queries, I'll come to live session also. According to the inquiry, you can inquiry all the tools and you can try to switch to DevOps technologies. So DevOps, I can give the enhancement of new things. Definitely, I'll try to integrate. It will be very helpful for your future. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.